just to quickly show you, that's the Fiesta. What I was saying with the low miles, he's had the camera fitted under the number plate, the roof box. So Halfords have had a good day out of him, let's put it that way. But now he's decided, I think he's not going on his trip to Spain or something, he said. I think he's still taking the car, but he's doing something else. I don't know, I couldn't understand. But yeah, I just thought I would show you that, because I did show you that in last week's vlog or the week before. That's it, all set to go. Just thought I'd show you this, guys, on the Yaris. It's not always old cars and stuff, but when cars don't get used, obviously over the COVID stretch, which this car didn't get used a great deal, this is what kind of happens. This is the caliper stripped down. As you can see, the pad linings have come away from the pads. And that's just, and again, this being a hybrid car, the braking systems on them don't really get used much because it's all regenerative braking. So if you have an electric car or a hybrid, make sure once in a while to do some heavy braking to actually use your brakes, because they won't last. But these are getting quite, they're not horrendous, but since they've been running that tight, like this one has been, it's getting that hot, obviously that's another reason why it's become detached. That one's coming away, and all these sliders had become tight. They're quite a bad design, the back brakes on these Yarises. I will say, that's one thing I will say, that's not a good design on the Yaris, which I highly rate. Are these back, the drums are fine, but these back discs are renowned for obviously getting rusty because they hardly get used, because back brakes only get used about 20-30% to the fronts. They get very tight and all the rest of it. So yeah, calipers to push back, hopefully they're okay. And I just want to show you on this back disc that I've got the they connect up very tight onto here, the rust together. So you just use two 13 mils, put them on with a gun, and basically you wind them in. You can't do any harm because you're replacing the discs. There you go, you see. There we go, there's a disc off. Saves all the hammering on and brain on. Nice easy job. Just lift that off in case it falls. And then repeat the process at the other side. Clean the hub up, put them on. In this case, swings and roundabouts, Toyota was a bit more expensive, so we've just gone for the Peugeot ones. But in fairness, I think the Peugeot ones being TMD coated may be slightly better on the back of these Yarises. So I just thought I'd show you that. Again, quick look underneath the hybrid. You'll see, obviously, all of the high voltage cables are in orange, because that's part of the kind of requirement, so to speak. These cats are very common to be nicked. This, I don't actually think that is a cat, that's just a silencer. I think on these Yarises, they're right up there somewhere, I believe. I could be wrong. I know that's a cat, and this possibly could be the cat, yeah. So, again, these hybrids getting these nicked, they're worth an absolute fortune. And again, it's a funny one. The hybrids have a metal filter, and the non-hybrids have a paper filter. These use the 1500cc engine, but this one's been wax oiled from new underneath. As you can see, it's in very good condition. Hence to the point it works, you know. No rust anywhere on it, because it's been wax oiled. I mean, it's due a top up shortly. I may get the land guard done. But yeah, just thought I'd show you that. In a bit of a hurry, because my uncle's coming to pick us up to have a look at my smashed window. Well, to get one measured up. And my guess is, I doubt I'll probably even have one before Christmas, the way things are. Obviously with the Royal Mail. I've just shared something on Facebook that an aircraft hangar size building rammed full to the brim with parcels. So I'm waiting for some gear oil for my Altea. I doubt I'll probably see that before Christmas. We've just, I mentioned, sent the scanner away. Who knows how long we're going to be waiting to get the money back from that now. But anyways, that's probably my uncle here now. No, it's not. It's my dad bringing in a little Peugeot thing. So yeah, we'll leave that here. I'll catch you later on, but I'm going to try and keep the days short. Might do some work later on the A6 to change the gear oil, believe it or not, on that. And may, if we have time, go across and put the battery on the ML, possibly. And there might be a car coming in later, which could potentially be a new channel project. I'm not going to keep any secrets about it, because it's the same as a car I've recently just had. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and I'll catch you later. Quick update. Just thought I'd show you now that these are done. New pads. Freed off the sliders with the silicone grease. Always make sure the clips go in properly. They've all been cleaned. The actual place at the pad area where the pads link up to the caliper carrier. Happy days. That's really, if Toyota, again, what I keep saying, those slides that come out of there had no grease in. this whole thing about manufacturers putting stuff together with Loctite and no grease, it causes problems down the line. The pads, they say, some argue and say you shouldn't put grease here. They didn't have grease on there from new, and sure enough, they seized. I bet you the ones with the grease on don't seize. Sensible to use high temperature grease so it won't melt to go onto the friction area of the pads, but that's self-explanatory, isn't it? So yeah, big believer in using grease all the wax oil pipes. Remember, Toyotas especially, they always do this stupid idea where the pipes are coated in plastic up until the point where they join. So you'll find all the pipes are plastic up until the point of where it joins, like here, and they leave just that little tiny bit there as metal, and that will rust, and you'll have to replace the whole lot. Every single Toyota does it. Some of them leave a bigger gap, others don't. So it would literally take you a matter of minutes on a Toyota to go around and coat all them little bits. I don't know if I can show you on the front as well. There's a light here, I'll just grab one. I'll show you on the front as well. Let's have a look. You guys will probably be able to see better than me. There, you see, there's that little bit from the top to where the plastic starts on it. If that rots through, you've got to replace a whole section of brake pipe. Again, in the factory, clearly they strip the plastic off to join them. Why not put a bit of grease? Why not put a bit of paint or protection on? But they don't. So, there we go. Here's my uncle. I'm going to go across now to find out what's going on with my windows and the loft. So I'll catch you soon. Probably later on the day when the other car's in. Hello guys, it's still Thursday, but this has turned up early, so we're actually going to get this MOT tonight, so it's one less job to deal with tomorrow, because my uncle is actually coming to start doing the loft hatch, boarding it out, fitting the lights up there, and the window, that's smashed. Gutted about that. I might do a quick little 2-minute video of the night of home to what we woke up to this morning. Convinced somebody had thrown something, but I've checked all the cameras, I've been up on the ladders, there's no sign of impact damage whatsoever. I think it's just one of those things with temperature change. Anyways, enough yakking about that. Outside, what's in is a potential new project, maybe. Depends what he wants for it and what's wrong with it, because I'm going to do a pre-MOT on it now. But I'll quickly show you this. Little I mix up there. The 107s, 108s, the Peugeots. Citroens are pretty simple, because I only see one. What is it? The 108. Right, now these 108s, you've got to be very careful. Up to about this year, 2015, they've got the nice Toyota engine in, the Toyota platforms. But not long after this date, I think around 16 or 17, they changed to that awful Citroen Peugeot engine, which is, you'll know straight away, these were a 1 litre 3-cylinder Toyota engine. And then they changed to the 1.2 Citroen Peugeot engine, and it's that one with the wet belt in, and they're absolutely terrible and very, very expensive. So like when they go wrong and have massive major issues where the wet belts shred, block the oil strainer, seize the engines, all sorts. Obviously the wet belts themselves snapping. When the wet belts come to a time in, I think, 8 years or 80,000 mile, they need changing, and it's major strip down. These have chains. If you change the oil regular, you don't get too much issues with them. They pretty much last the life of the car. So be careful with these. If you do get them, make sure it's got the Toyota engine in, not the Citroen engine. So there we go. Quickly show you underneath. It's basically a new car underneath. It's only got 19,000 mile on, but I've done the usual, wax oiled all the pipes in the place. Like I've told you, they're all coated with plastic, bar the little end pieces. So they've been coated. There's a little bit there on the back of the drums. Also, I've done the bottoms of the shockers where they normally go. In this area here, this car's a long way off actually being rotten, but they go very badly here, which is part of the structure, and it's very difficult to weld. So I just coat them every year. This is only in for MOT. I do all this more or less free of charge as part of an MOT. I just charge half an hour's labour, and as part of the labour, I include the materials in my time. Them discs may look bad, but they're not. The lady hardly basically does more than back and forth to the shop. If I took this up the A1 at 70 mile an hour and did a couple of like decent brake tests, they were cleaned straight up. Right, so that's just an update on this. I just say goodbye to Tony, who had that Yaris hybrid in. But yeah, with these things, remember what I told you about the engines? That's what it was, the brakes. If I took this out and did 70 mile an hour and did a couple of heavy progressive braking safely, they will clean up good as new. But the pads are getting a slight bit down. I did advise her last year. So it's going for MOT now. They're not even really bad enough to even advise on the MOT, but I've just said, look, if they're not going to be right this time next year, just do them. So we're just going to stick a set of good quality Peugeot pads in tomorrow and get it MOT'd tonight. So that's it really, guys. I'm going to check over this possible project out there. I'll record it as just a normal check over if I decide I'm not buying it or he doesn't give us an answer on a price. If I do, I'll include it in the channel. I might even do a separate video on it, but we'll see. You might just see us first thing tomorrow morning on Friday's vlog from this point. Catch you soon. Welcome to the last day of the week, guys. Friday's vlog. I'm not going to make this too long today, because I'm trying to keep them a bit shorter, like under the hour. I would like to try and get them loaded up as one video. If it's over, basically, if you're wondering why I do part 1 and part 2, and some weeks I do 1. If it goes over the hour mark for everything, I don't know why, but my phone will not render a video. It says there's not enough storage. But that is, I've got like 20-30 gig of free space. So if it's over an hour, I do 2 parts. If it's under an hour, I do 1. But I tend to find an hour-long video, people don't watch it all the way through. Whereas if I do 2 35, 45-minute videos, people do. I don't know, analysis, plus it's 2 videos, but it's all extra work for me. So, what's in today? A Ford C-Max. Nice spec, this one. Full titanium, heated leather seats. Might be a titanium X. Full glass roof. Bi-xenon headlamps. Now, I want to do a bit of talk here while we've got some space. Bi-xenon headlights, like I was telling you. I can show you everything here. Now, I'm just going to grab the light. Typically, it's over here, right at the opposite end of the garage. This gives me a chance to show and tell you everything I was talking about. Yes, I've got a bit of a headlamp washer moment fascination. I'll admit that. I'm very sad. But I just want to show you how all this works. And these bi-xenon headlamps. So, they are bi-xenon headlamps. And what it means is you've got a standard car with a switch, which you move up and down from 0 to generally 3. And it just, you'll see it on the wall. It'll move your headlamps up and down like that manually. So if you know you've got a load in the boot, you stick it to 3 and it dips your headlights down a bit. All these are automatic in here. This is all, they move side to side, they move up and down, and you've got your headlamp washers, obviously because the high intensity discharge, HID, high intensity discharge. Basically, what that means is, when I switch this round, I'm wearing gloves, it's a bit awkward. What it basically means is, it's like a welding arc. You know when you see somebody welding? That's basically what they're producing, a welding arc. Then you've got the newer version of LEDs, and we all know what an LED is. LED, light emitting diode. Most of them are like SMDs, the new SMD Cree kind of things that are super bright, like what's in this light. Those little things, it's just insane how bright they can be. Right, anyways, on to the governs. Now, what this car's in for, exactly what went wrong with my Seat just yesterday, is this new type of brake screen wash pipe is absolutely shit. It's a very, very hard plastic trunking. And if you look here, they actually use the same stuff to put the wires in. It's not, the old stuff, the flexible rubber pipe was fantastic. So when this splits, you need to get special connectors, which I've just bought for my car. But anyways, that's what this is in for. The rear screen wash wasn't working, and that was the cause of it. But I want to show you the whole thing about the HID lights as well. I can't show you behind the light, but it's more on the governs. So you see this washer bottle here, right? You've got this sensor here is your low washer fluid sensor. So like top of the range cars like this one have that, a lot of them don't. Just lets you know when your the light comes on your dash to let you know your washer fluid is getting low. And as you can see, you've got that much left in it. So it leaves you a nice reserve. Then you've got your front windscreen and rear wash wipe on one motor with a little valve. So when you select front windscreen and rear window, it just simply opens and closes the valve and changes which side it comes out of, the front or back. But up here, this great big blue high pressure one is for your headlamp washers. And these are very expensive. They can be over £200 for these units. And basically what that does, it does a big burst of pressure, which is enough to pop these little valves out, as you've seen them pop out, and then they spray. And then they drop back in when the water pressure drops. But I want to show you a neat little trick. So naturally, at this height here, you've got your warning light. Right at the very bottom, so it'll work till the very end, is your windscreen, basically your windscreen washer. But if you notice, they've situated the headlamp washer further up to the point of just below. So once you activate those and they give their last burst of fluid, the light will be triggered, and then it gives you all this as reserve to use for just the windscreen. So from that point on, your headlamp washers won't work. Therefore, it gives you all this reserve for your windscreen. I think it's quite a neat trick. Probably self-explanatory to most of you. But anyways, that's what this is in. I just thought I'd do a little bit of talk about headlamps. Anyways, put the lamp down. I don't know why I'm shining that around where I'm looking at. Yes, the battery still sat there for the ML. Oh, I forgot to mention me Altea. £20 for those. I showed you them. I got them fitted, and the engine cover is spot on now. No more rattling about. This Volvo, it's in for intermittent not starting and all the rest of it. I just want to run through a few basics. Actually, front pads to do on that. Got them. Nothing interesting. All you've seen us do all this week is brakes. It's already MOT'd. Done. Just get the pads done, and it's going back to the lady's house. So, on this Volvo, beautiful V70 with a Citroen Peugeot engine. Not knocking the DW10 engine, but it does not belong in a premium Volvo. Sorry guys, if you like the engine, I like it as well. It does not belong in this car. End of story. Anyways, the starter motor sounds absolutely terrible on it. So, clearly, we need to test the battery. But when I started it up before, it really struggled to start. So, what I've warned the customer is, I don't think the starter motor is the one causing it not to start. It's the battery being flat, but the starter motor does sound very dry. It sounds awful. But it's quite a common fault with these engines anyway, so it's not enough to change the starter, but I have warned them of that. So what we'll do, first up, this is just for any of you guys, the very, very basics. First up, before you touch anything, do a basic charge test, so you know that the alternator's charging. But what I have got here is a digital battery meter. So what we'll do is we'll connect it up and do a basic battery test. Clearly, remember to put them on the right terminals. I'm just looking on the battery here to see which one's which, so there's your negative down there. Don't look at the battery, you can't see my head. You really should wear glasses when you're dealing with batteries, but what I do is a rule of thumb, whenever I connect anything up, I'll look away in the complete, what you'll probably see is losing balance there. I'll look away in the complete opposite, so if the battery explodes, I know it's stupid, but if you're wearing goggles, you're going to get acid in your face anyway. I'll look away, so it would actually kind of spray the back of my head. I'm trying to explain to you. So naturally, this is the battery now. If you're wearing goggles and you're doing a full test and it explodes, you still get acid all around your face. I don't want acid in my face, so what I tend to do, I'm not wearing goggles, but I look away like this and I connect the terminals, so if it does come up, I don't want acid on the back of my head either, but I'd sooner have it on the back of my head than in my face. So, sounds really stupid. Yes, you should always wear glasses, but let's face it, we live in the real world here, not in a health and safety bubble. So, here's my tester. What you need to find is the cold cranking amps on this one, which is 800 CCA. See that, CCA? 800. So we'll go clear memory, battery test, wet type. It's not a stop-start one. CCA, 800. Start. Enter. See what it says. I've got a feeling it'll say replace, because it really did sound terrible. See, actually, it's saying good. So it's totally gone against me. But the only thing I have done, I've had the car running for kind of like a few minutes. So what we'll do is we'll put a load test on the battery. A very simple way. See, that's actually proved my point. What I want to prove to you guys here is that's saying on there that the battery is good. But batteries are very strange. So you could take that into the garage, just quickly put the meter on. Yeah, it's good. But once it's left overnight, this car's just been running in the yard for 20 minutes. So it's done a surface charge. So my issue with that is you can't believe always what they say. So you go to one of these Halfords, quick fit places. They'll probably try to rip you off for the money anyway. But if you get somebody who can't be arsed, they'll come out, put it on, go, oh, it says it's good. I tell you now, that's saying 49%. And I do know the cut-off line on this is about 45. So all we're going to do is just switch on the ignition. With the lights on, it's a Volvo. I'm not sure if I've got to put my foot on the brake or something like that with these to get them to... And there we go. And just simply put the ignition on. A great big battery like that, you should be able to sit with your lights on for long enough, put it that way. And then we'll rerun the test. Obviously not with the lights burning. We'll just leave them on, just for a minute or so, and see where it is. Because if you look, the rating of the battery is 800 and it's only kicking out 500. We've lost 300 cold cranking amps. It's not really ideal, and to be honest, the internal resistance isn't the best either. But it just shows you can't always believe a test. So as you've seen, this is real time. I haven't paused the video out. Just had the ignition on a little bit. We'll switch it off, and we'll try it again. And then there's something else you need to do before you start messing with things. Just switch that off. And we'll rerun the test. That wasn't really that long enough, to be fair. We'll go exit, battery test, wet type, yes. 800, and we'll try again. We'll just see. But like I've said, this battery has been playing up quite a lot. See, it's still saying good, 58%, you see. So this is one of those funny ones where it's my own fault because I've left the car running in the yard for a bit. So what I'm going to do now is, the old-fashioned way of doing it is disconnect it. And what I'm going to do is, what I want to check, see, this is something else you need to check, is I want to check that the alternator's okay. That the alternator, it will be, because it's brought that this battery, which was flat not long ago, back to life, just through running for a little bit. So I'm just connecting it up. This digital one's great for doing tests like that, but I love the old school one for doing basic testing. So at the minute, if you look, if we do a little bit of a load test on it, just for a few seconds, it's just sitting above 12 volts. Now, obviously, when it's charging, it'll be sitting at 14 volts. So naturally, that would be not charging. So we'll start it up, and it should be within that green okay. Just check, I have got this here, so you just keep an eye, put it over there, because it's the belts down this area. All the covers have been taken off it, and that's out the way, it's not going to move. But you'll hear this when I start it up, it sounds very dry. The starter motor doesn't sound great, but my money is on the battery, just through my experience. But when you come to start this thing up, it sounds dreadful. And a 58% charged battery is not the best, but if you listen to this, yeah, that, I don't know how that come up on camera, but it just sounds dreadful. So we'll just check to see if it's charging. Oh, yeah, perfectly. So there you go. Right to the end of the green, nicely 15 volts. It's a smart charging battery system on these, so that's showing that the battery is quite low on juice. So there we go. That, what you don't want to be doing is changing a battery for somebody, and it's actually just the alternator at fault. So what we're going to do now is, because obviously there's a surface charge on the car, you've got to remember what a surface charge is when the car's running like that, it's getting 15 volts going through it. So what we're going to do is switch the lights on, switch the interior fans on, and if that battery's good, it should be able to last a good 5 minutes with the lights on. Some of them don't let you put heated rear screens on and stuff. Let's have a look here. Oh, a few lights on. Front fogs, rear fogs, main beam. Right, there we go. So, I should have been showing you that. So there's all the lights on, fans on. And all we're going to do, like I said, if that battery's classed as good, you would expect to be able to sit in a car park for for approximately 5 minutes with your lights on and come back to your car. A good battery should be able to hold a good 20 minutes or more with the lights running and still start. If it can't manage 5 minutes, then there's something up. So what we're going to do is now connect up the other tester. Right guys, that's been not even 5 minutes, say 3 minutes. We'll give it a try now. So what you don't do is cheat the system, is by leaving all the lights running and trying to do it. So as you can see, all of the lights are back off, ignition's off, ECU shut down, and we'll try another test. Test battery, wet type, go cranking amps, 800, click. And there we go. See? 3 minutes, it's drained the battery down to 34%, and it says replace. Now what I will show you, just so you know, this is where experience comes into things. I'm not trying to kind of blow my own whistle here kind of thing, but I've been in this trade all my life, and I've had old battery testers like the one I used to do the charge testing, and I've had these modern ones. Now you go into somewhere and you've got what you call your quick fit fitters, you know, who are just simply computer guys who come in and they plug something in, they go, well, the computer says yes, or the computer says no. You don't believe what a computer tells you. I knew straight up, I know the starter motor sounds dry and dreadful, and it could be causing some form of slight struggling to start, but the fact is the battery is coming across as very low. It's barely turning over the engine. So first up, what I see straight up with this vehicle is the fact, when I switch this round from my face, I'm wearing gloves for the screen, it's a cheap shit platinum battery. I don't use anything other than Bosch Excite, Varta, etc, etc. I do not use the shit like that for a start. So, hence, just to prove a point, there's my ML. And that was what I fitted for Pat when she owned it about 3 or 4 years ago. So, do not always believe what a guy with a computer tells you. I knew that battery was right. I could have done, you've seen, I've done 3 tests and it made me look the fool saying, oh, the battery's fine, the battery's fine. All I've done is left the lights on for 3 minutes, not 10 minutes, not half an hour. And as you've seen, it was saying, okay, okay, okay. Now, I just want to show you in case where you think, wait, Dan, you've had the lights on, you've just cheated the system. Watch this. I'm struggling here because my gloves aren't contacting the screen to swap the camera around. I may have to take them off. There we go. Right, so we'll cheat the system this time. As you've seen, it said okay, battery replace. So we'll cheat the system here and we'll do a test. Only under 500 and not 800. And it might come up as battery okay recharge or something. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. See, there we go. There you go. Proves me point. So now, hold on, we'll go back and do it under the 800. And now the bit of surface charge has come back in. It'll be fooling the system, making it think that it's okay. No, it isn't. See, replace. So there you go. You can't always believe what the fancy machines tell you. But what I do like about them, which I'm going to do with this now, is... Sorry to keep switching it round, guys. Come on. Is, now it says replace 800. What I'm going to do is, it prints you off just a little receipt. So if you bring it back to the customer and the car's still got issues, you've got that to show them. I print 2 off and I put 1 on the invoice and I keep 1 on my invoice. And that's why I like this machine. I don't like the digital shit. I think it's crap. But what I do like is being able to print off a little bit of proof. So now, talking about proof, will the car actually start after just having the lights on for 3 minutes? As you've seen all this time I've been talking, there's been no lights on or anything like that. But will it start? Let's find out, shall we? Ignition on. Will it start? Nope. Assume you can hear that. Completely dead. I'm not going to wind on to start the motor. So, what you do in this position is switch off, key out. Always remember that, guys, when you're dealing with batteries and disconnecting them. Window open, key, I just generally put them on the roof. Always remember that. Because when you disconnect batteries and mess around, windows can go up and doors can lock. So leave the key on the roof, window open. So now, there we go. I just wanted to do a little bit of one-to-one work with you. Simple stuff you can all do yourself. So now what I'm going to do, when I get the switch, is obviously remove this battery. It's a bit of a faff because I've had to take all this off and probably have to take this trunking off here and get it out. So I'll leave the film in there. What I have ordered is a Bosch S4, 4-year guarantee, premium Bosch battery. Yes, it's about 130 quid. But I don't fit shit. You fit shit. That battery was supposedly only fitted just over a year ago, and it's knackered. Proof's in the pudding, isn't it? Buy a shit battery, it doesn't last you. And when a lot of cars now are very difficult to change the batteries. So there you go. I've yapped on for 18 minutes. I just thought I'd give you some content. It is why I do the channel. So my dad's back with a T-piece to try and repair that. I need to repair the one on my LT. I'm going to have to go this weekend with no screen wash. Not that I'm going far, but... Wait, I'm saying not any screen wash. I barely get a trickle out because most of it's leaking out the pipe. So, get this C-Max sorted, get the pads fitted to that little Peugeot, and I might just come back to you and show you how this starts with the new battery fitted. So I'll catch you soon, guys. Right, that's the Volvo sorted. Just want to show you a few little things that I do. Take it or leave it. Date, if you buy a battery, this is a Bosch S4, so it's a 4-year guarantee. So a simple thing to do is write it, the date you fitted it, 2nd of the 12th, 22, and where you got it from, Euro parts. And so it just means for us, we have a paper system. If he comes back in a year's time and goes, oh, my battery's gone, we know exactly what page to go to on the invoice book and where we bought it from to do the warranty claim. Little bit of silicone grease on the terminals. so that they don't get seized. And yes, silicone grease is conductive, so it's perfectly fine to use on there. Probably the best thing you can use. So that's them done. Make sure all the little grommets and stuff are back in place. Obviously, I've got to put this back over in that. And that's that. But I'll just show you what it's like now when it starts. It's like a different car. But I know a lot of places would have been straight away digging into starter motors and or even sending you away and saying the battery's fine when it isn't. And here we go. On the button. Champion. But like I said, the starter motor does sound dry, but it's not real grounds to change it, because it is still charging the car okay. So there we go. That's that. All done. This little 108, 107, I'm getting mixed up with the Peugeots. Don't know why they had to change the name when Citroen kept it as the C1. Toyota kept it as the Igo, but Peugeot had to change it from a 107 to a 108. Who knows why. So like I say, set of pads to go into this. Not a great deal to speak about. It's all we've done all week, brakes. So there we go. That's all this needs. And that's pretty much it. So I'll just leave that there. I don't even know. I've tried to go back what there was through the week. You'll have to just review it. See what you think. See if there's any questions you want to ask. Oh yes, in the car last night. Sorry guys, the guy just come to collect that Volvo there, so I just had to quickly put the covers back on. But I'm just going to show you in a second, because I'm just probably going to get my legs nearly taken out by the two dogs. My dad's just going to let them out. So yeah, here they come. Any second. I bet you they both come booling round this corner. 1, 2. There we go. I wish I had some of that energy. Hunter, come here. Come here. There we go. The old one's just doing his own thing, and he's just an absolute nutter. Aren't you? Come here. Come here. Sit, sit, sit. He's a good dog. He's trained. Walk here. Walk here. He will walk glued to my leg until I give the command. Go on. He's thinking I'm going to throw something for him. But yeah. Hope all you guys have a good weekend. I'm going to now try and... These two are just after dinner. The race out here, have a wee, and they're straight back in there because they know there's food. They're not interested about being out here. So yeah, hope you all have a good weekend. We are at a Christmas fair at, what do you call it? Oh, White House Farm, where you've seen all my caravan trips. Just at White House Farm with the kids. And, oh yes, for once in a while, first time in years, probably 2 years, me and Holly are generally going out for a night out to the Netherton Social Club at Bedlington to see a Queen tribute. But these are supposed to be really good. It's not just your average crappy working man's club do. These are impossible now to get tickets for. They're meant to be one of the best in, well, the country really, within sensible means, you know what I mean? A tribute band to Queen. So I'm quite looking forward to that on Saturday night. And Sunday, probably just a chill day. Won't be a great deal. Might get a few jobs done on the Altea if I have time. And that's about it. Hopefully my uncle will be nearly sorted with the loft there. My mate coming along on a week today to fit us a light in the conservatory and the lights up in the loft. We're not fit them, wire them in. So, catch you all next week. Thanks for watching. He's just decided to do a toilet break over my shoulder, I've just noticed there, so I have to go and pick that up. So yeah, please, if you enjoy these, hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe and leave a comment. It's what it's all about. I'm trying my best to keep up with them, which I am at the minute. But yeah, it's nice to have a bit of banter with everybody. And if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to my Facebook page, Cardiff Garage Northeast. But try to keep them a general chit-chat on YouTube, because that's what keeps the channel going. Catch you soon, guys.